Mr. Speaker, honorable members, under ground number 7, our allegation is that there are serious reasons to believe that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua has committed crimes under Section 45(1), 46, 47(a)(3), and 48(1) of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act, as well as Sections 2, 3, 4, and 7 of the Proceeds of Crime and the Money Laundering Act. And in short, during the short period that I was doing research on this motion, I have come across properties that are registered in the name of the Deputy President or in the name of his children or other proxies that run cumulatively to a value of about 5.2 billion. And there is no clear trace of where the monies to purchase those properties came from, and therefore, under the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act, qualify to be unexplained assets. Number 2, I have also listed companies that are associated with the Deputy President, 22 of them. And these companies, you look at the objects and purposes, they are all the same. And it is our theory and our evidence that these companies have been used for money laundering. Similarly, I have also listed companies that have been transacting with the office of the Deputy President, the office held by the Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, with tremendous respect. And they are being paid from that office, and we have laid ground for serious reasons to believe that these companies are actually conduits for corruption, and that political responsibility, even when he's not the accounting officer, rests with the highest holder of that office. And that is the case we are making here. And we shall be showing the connection between the properties and His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. And in a case of unexplained assets, it is upon the person to show where they actually got the money to buy the assets. We have evidence that the assets belong to him.
Let's begin with the companies, Honorable Mutuse. You said you have attached Form CR12 to your motion.
Indeed, I have attached Form CR12 being evidence of ownership of those companies.
Would that be the Form CR12 on pages 8 all the way to 32 of Volume 2A?
Indeed, yes.
Honorable Speaker, it's Volume 2A, pages 8 to 32. It actually begins, Honorable Speaker, it's me who is mistaken. It's from page 1 to 32, right?
Indeed, yes.
And because we are stressed for time, sir, does this document show in black and white that the majority of these companies, the directors and shareholders, are either the Deputy President or his sons or his spouse?
Yes, they do, and senators will have opportunity to look at the Form CR12s. Many of them are under 2 weeks old, so they are very recent.
Let's go to the question of the purchase
and
of...
You can also independently confirm from the e-Citizen portal, it is only 650 shillings to do as a company search.
You have mentioned Treetops Hotel and Elspan Hotel in paragraph 45A.
Yes, indeed.
Let's confirm whether this is false, ridiculous, or embarrassing. Did the Deputy President issue a public address on the 7th of October in which he admitted acquiring these 2 hotels?
Yes, indeed, and it is part of our evidence.
So with that admission from him, can we be here to say your allegations are false, ridiculous, and embarrassing?
That is not expected from the son of Mau Mau.
But let's go to page 33, sir, of your volume 2A.
Mr. Speaker, sir, we have been patiently waiting and restraining myself from raising.
Pause the time for the National Assembly, please. Proceed, Council.
I've been constraining myself when listening to the proceedings, and Council is testifying instead of the witness testifying. Number 2, he's asking leading questions in examination in chief, and Council understands the rules of examination.
A case in point, you're very general. A case in point?
The Hansons, Mr. Speaker, sir, will bear us witness, and the Senate is a custodian of the Hanson.
Council, I'm very alert. Any leading questions before you take your feet, I'll be able to object to it. I'm very alert to that. Proceed, Council.
Much obliged, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to page 33, sir. What is that document? On volume 2A?
On page 33, this is a discharge of charge between Wayne Holdings Limited and Aberdare Safari Lodges Limited,
Yes.
drawn by the firm of Hamilton, Harris and Matthews.
On page 34, what is given as the amount of the loan being discharged?
The loan being discharged is 143,885,042 shillings.
Please confirm this loan is being discharged as of 30th October 2023.
Yes, the loan is being discharged as at of 30th October 2023. And the loan was to Aberdare Safari Hotels Limited.
Would that mean this hotel was indebted before the Deputy President acquired it?
It was in evidence.
To what amount?
143,885,042 shillings.
Let's go to page 37. What is that document you have annexed, sir?
The document of annexed here is a transfer instrument, transfer to companies and limited liability partnerships.
Yes.
It is it's a document ordinarily that is used to transfer
Interest in what?
interest in property from one party to the next.
And who is acquiring that property according to this document?
The property, as at this time, belonged to Aberdare Safari Hotels Limited and is being transferred to Crystal Kenya Limited.
Is Crystal Kenya Limited a company linked to the Deputy President?
Yes, indeed, and we have annexed the form CR12.
In which page?
The form CR12 is on page 23 of our
Volume 2A.
volume 2A.
Who are given as the directors there?
The directors are one Keith Ikino Rigathi.
Who is that?
That is a son to Honorable Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
And the second director is Kevin Gachagua Rigathi,
Yes.
also a son.
Now let's go back to 37. As the Deputy President in his response explained, where he got more than $500 million shillings, and to be precise, 535 million to acquire this hotel.
To begin with, the consideration for this transfer was Kenya shillings 535 million, and this needs to be added to the loan of 143 million.
Yes.
Cumulatively.
Yes.
So that you get the value, because the value of in terms of what was the purchase.
Yes.
In his response, and I have seen it, the Deputy President alludes that he got a loan of 600 million, that when he became Deputy President, he used to run this company called Crystal, but when he became Deputy President, he gave it to his children to run it. And he goes further to say that he got a loan of 600 million from the Credit Bank of Kenya.
Has he actually placed before this Senate evidence of the disbursement of any such loan?
I have seen a letter of offer for that loan, but I have not seen any evidence of disbursement nor any charge in respect of that loan.
Is a letter of offer loan evidence that a loan has actually been given?
A letter of offer is just that, an offer.
That letter is annexed of offer, says that as security for the supposed loan, there will be directors' guarantees. Has he annexed those directors' guarantees?
To the best of my recollection, I have not seen them.
It says the loan will be secured by personal guarantees. Has he also annexed those personal guarantees?
I have not seen them.
Has he annexed any security known in the banking world for acquiring a loan of this amount?
What I have seen is, what I have seen in the letter of offer is at, I'm looking at it, is in terms of the lien and set-off at
Yes.
page 132 or 534, is that lien and set-off of a fixed
Please say
deposit.
which volume you're referring to on the page so that the Senate will walk with you.
Council,
refer-
the senators would wish to know where the letter of offer is contained. Which volume?
The letter of offer,
on what-
Mr. Speaker,
Which page? What page?
It's in volume 6.
is in volume 6, starting from page 98.
Yes, walk us through that letter of offer.
So there is a letter of offer, meaning there was an application for a loan. And this is to the directors of Crystal Kenya Limited. Crystal Kenya Limited is the company that is acquiring Aberdare Safari lodges. And the loan is in respect of an amount of 600 million. And in the clause for lien and set-off, I have seen that a lien and set-off or fixed deposits, this is on page 99, in respect of INO Crystal Kenya Limited for an aggregate amount of 300 million to be obtained. Interest accrued shall be credited to your deposit settlement account.
Let's take to that one for now. From elementary banking knowledge, what do we conclude from this issue of the 300 million?
My understanding is that the account held at the bank had 300 million shillings in cash, and that that amount was going to be part of the security for the loan.
So it means the deputy president or his sons had already cashed in that account of 300 million shillings.
Yes, which is also an asset that we are counting in accumulating the 5.2 billion.
Now let's count that 300 million, 535 million, and the 143 million that had been to be paid to pave way for this transaction.
Indeed, yes.
In estimate, that would be like how much money?
535 plus 300
Is 835.
835 plus 143, roughly a billion shillings
Roughly 1 billion shillings.
in respect of one transaction.
Just one property. Now, if the deputy president were to save all his net salary for 10 years, would he be able to have savings of 1 billion shillings to acquire this hotel?
Not at all.
But because
From the non-source, legitimate source of income, which is his salary as deputy president, as gazetted by the SRC, roughly around 1.2 billion after taxation, an aggregate of 1 million shillings, it would not be possible to acquire a billion shillings within a period of 2 years.
now these three figures, whether it is the 143 million or the 300 million or the 535 million, as the deputy president in his response offered any legitimate explanation of how he or his very young sons came upon this incredible fortune of money?
Nowhere in the response, other than the letter of offer that is in itself not evidence of acquiring a loan.
At page 39, who are shown as the parties to this transaction for Abadere's hotel?
Page 39 of
Or volume 2A?
page 39 of volume 2A. The parties to this transaction for Crystal Kenya Limited, Kevin Gachagua Rigathi and Keith Ikino Rigathi. For Aberdare Safari Hotels, there is Robert Gadenji
Yes.
and Kenneth Waiboshi.
Are those two gentlemen you mentioned first related to the Deputy President?
Indeed, they are his children.
As a matter of fact, Honorable Mutuse, and we'll do it in the closing statement, does our Public Officer Ethics Act or the Leadership and Integrity Act, faced with facts like this, permit the Deputy President to hide behind his sons?
Not at all.
Is he allowed to hide behind any of his relatives?
Not at all.
What about his spouse?
Not at all.
So even if the Senate were to accept, for argument's sake, that this company is run by the sons and whatnot, would that, based on our Public Officer Ethics Act or the other act, which is the leadership, and would that be a valid answer to this unexplained wealth?
Section 35 of the Leadership and Integrity Act.
Please say the volume you're reading.
I'm reading from volume 7 in our bundle of documents at page 34. Acting through others. A state officer contravenes the code if the officer A causes anything to be done through another person that would constitute a contravention of the code if done by the state officer, or allows or directs a person under their supervision or control to do anything that is in contravention of the code.
Mr. Speaker, acting through others is what previously I have called it wasn't me. But let's jump to page 79 of volume 2A.
Yes, we are here.
Again, this is documentation for that same property the Deputy President admits he acquired, right?
Yes, through Aberdare, just for contextualization, Aberdare owned 2 hotels.
Yes.
There is Treetops Hotel,
Yes.
and there is
Which one?
Outspan.
Yes.
Outspan is the one that we have demonstrated how it was purchased. Treetops is a property developed by the Kenya Wildlife Service, but it was under the same management of Aberdare, so they were acquired together.
So let's pause at it is owned by the Kenya Wildlife Service.
Yes.
Is the Kenya Wildlife Service a public or a private entity?
A public entity funded by the taxpayers.
Under our Chapter 6 laws, that is the Public Officer Ethics Act, the Leadership and the Integrity Act, if you want, you can even draw the Public Procurement and Disposal Act, whichever law. Is it consistent with all those laws for the Deputy President of the Republic to acquire without competitive bidding an interest in a resource owned by the Kenya Wildlife Service?
It is not. And in fact, the Deputy President is on record in these proceedings as having said that he has advised his family not to transact with government. But we are going to demonstrate that he actually transacted with KWS.
And KWS is a public entity.
And KWS is a public entity.
If this hotel were to be leased or sold, or whatever the language, would there be a requirement for open, competitive, and transparent bidding?
Section 45, which we said we have reasonable grounds to believe that the Deputy President has breached of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act. And I'm reading our volume 7 at page 23, states as follows: protection of public property and revenue. A person is guilty of an offense if the person fraudulently or otherwise unlawfully A, acquires public property or public service or benefit, B, mortgages, charges, or disposes of any public property, C, damages public property including causing a computer or another electronic machinery to perform any function that directly or indirectly results in a loss or adversely affects any public revenue or service, or fails to pay any taxes or any fees, levies, charges payable to any public body, or effects or obtains an exemption, remission, reduction, or abatement from payment of any such taxes, levies, and fees. Section 46 about abuse of office. A person who uses his office to improperly confer a benefit on himself or anyone else is guilty of an offense.
Now, let's go to page 81 of volume 2A, sir.